this phone right here is fire for the price, because this one retails for less than $150 and it has some design features that I've not even seen on any flagship. One of the headlines on this product is printed right here on the front of the box. It's a 6,000 milliamp hour battery, 45 watt charging. And despite this being a very affordable phone, they haven't gone cheap when it comes to durability, because this one actually has an SGS 5-star rating for drop resistance and impact resistance. And one of the design aspects of this specific version of the phone is very intriguing, because it does involve using this, a glue gun. Trust me, it's all gonna make perfect sense in a moment. But first, let's get this phone out of the box and get a good look at it. First out of the box, the phone itself. Let's put this to one side and let's see what else is in here. Here we have a semi-transparent case. It's quite hard to bend it, and it's got this kind of bumper all the way around the outside, so it's really quite a rugged case. USB-A to USB-C charging cable, USB-C earbuds with inline controls. These actually offer a unique advantage when it comes to calls on your device, because you can get that mic right there, right close to your mouth when you're having conversations, so you don't have to speak extremely loudly. And once again, something we don't often see in flagship smartphone boxes these days, a power brick. It is a USB-A 45 watt charging brick. So this is everything that comes with the Hot 70 in the box. It's not bad for 130 euros, $150. Check out some of these specs right here. It's using the MediaTek Helio G100 Ultimate. Let's get this out of this wrapper and see what the phone actually looks like. So first impressions are, this is very unique. The back is very smooth. They actually say it has a baby smooth finish. And I have to agree, that is a pretty accurate description, because it feels very, very soft. And something you'll notice about this is that it doesn't show any fingerprints at all. It's also impressively thin at just 7.49 millimeters. And it's not too heavy, not too light. It's 195 grams. And there's a really nice amount of color variance on this. But it's this one right here which is the most interesting of them all, because this one uses a dual-way thermosensing skin that can shift from deep orange at 0 degrees to light orange at 65 degrees. And that is Celsius, just to be clear. And do you realize what this means? This means you can actually customize the back of the phone semi-permanently yourself. And that is where the glue gun comes in. So there's a few ways you can do it. Apparently you can heat up metal objects and leave them on the back of the phone to imprint the shape, or you can actually have custom made stamps. So if you want specific lettering and things like that on the back, you can do it that way, but that sounds a bit complicated. But with this method right here, the glue gun, apparently you can just write whatever you want on the back of the device. So it's gonna be very experimental, and I don't know how it's gonna turn out. I'm gonna get this glue gun plugged in and heated up, and I guess we'll see. So while we wait for that, let's run through some of the other design choices that Infinix have made here. So up top you have the SIM tray. That's an unusual placement for a SIM tray, but check this out. It is in fact a dual SIM tray, so you can have 2 SIMs right here, and then you've got the bigger cutout for your SD expansions. On the right hand side of the phone, you've got your volume rocker, which feels nice. You've got your power button, and then you have this orange accented button, and it's actually got this really nice texture to it, quite similar to what Sony use on their Xperia devices, although this isn't specifically a camera button. I will show you what this does once we get this phone booted up. Up top is a speaker grill, and on the base is another speaker grill, the USB-C charging port, and then also a little microphone cutout. Now, I don't know why this is, but a kind of recurring theme with more affordable phones is this. They all seem to have a pre-installed screen protector. There's definitely a bit of bezel and chin action in play here, but what do you expect? It is 130 euros. Okay, at this point we have to fast forward in time a little bit because I need to set this up. Okay, so I'm back and I've made a couple of nice discoveries while setting this phone up. Check this out. Although this phone has pretty substantial bezels and especially a chin, if you switch this into dark mode, the phone does a really good job of hiding those, and even the wallpapers seem to have been designed to disguise them. So immediately, this makes that problem less of a problem. Something else that I really like about the software here is you can create little widget stacks, which is something we don't see on all devices, so that's nice. And remember how I spoke about this little orange key right here? This isn't primarily a camera shutter button. However, it does work as a camera button within the camera app, so that is also pretty nice. And check this out, there's even this nice little halo light around the camera module which can be used as a notification indicator. Oh, and something else I discovered while setting this up, which I didn't expect, is this. That power button that just looks like a regular power button is in fact a fingerprint scanner. I was fully expecting an optical in-display one, and it definitely caught me off guard because it just looks like your regular power button. Anyway, let's talk about this display. So the Infinix Hot 70 has a 6.78 inch, which is a respectable size display. However, it is an LCD HD Plus panel, 720 by 1576. It has that punch hole in the display for the selfie camera, and the screen to body ratio here is actually 90.09%. With that said, it is a 120 Hz refresh rate panel, so that's going to be good for gaming, and it can intelligently shift between 45 Hz, 60 Hz, 90 Hz, and 120. When it comes to brightness, it's rated for 700 nits, which I'm assuming is measured right across the screen, not just in a small window. So that's pretty good. But when you're off axis, it kind of gets dark. And actually, this seems to be a feature that Samsung have added to their most recent flagship. So it's not intended to work as a privacy shield, but it does kind of work like that. The stereo speakers on this are pretty good, but the one at the bottom here is definitely louder than the top. The battery size, as you know, is flagship level, actually better than flagship level, and is 6,000 milliamp hour. However, it's worth noting that in some regions, this same phone might have a 5,600 milliamp hour battery. But if you are lucky enough to get the 6,000 milliamp hour one, you'll be happy to know that it can fully recharge in just 1 hour. So that's pretty good. And also you get nice little animations up top. And if you're wondering about gaming on this phone, there are a couple of standout gaming features that normally we only see on flagships. We're going to come back to that very shortly. So here's some of the need to know specs when it comes to this device. It is rocking the MediaTek Helio G100 Ultimate Octa-core processor. This one has really been optimized for stable multitasking and making sure the operating system runs smoothly. It's running on XOS 16, which, as you saw, does support scrollable widgets, which I'm a fan of. It will receive 3 major operating system updates and 5 years of security patches. So your 150 quid, if you do decide to get one, goes a very long way with this phone. And for an entry-level device, it does seem to run nice and smoothly when it comes to the usual scrolling, swiping, opening and closing apps. And actually, XOS has some standout features when it comes to connectivity. And there's even the option to double up your RAM using virtual RAM. So you can set this to the maximum of 8, essentially doubling up what you already have. And usually when it comes to affordable phones, they subsidize the price of it by adding loads of bloatware. These are the kinds of things we often see on like Xiaomi phones and stuff like that. And then you've got all of the system app. Again, these can be useful, but you might prefer to use other ones. For example, the contacts, you probably just want to use Google contacts on a phone like this. Carl Care, X Club, I have no idea what these are. But as far as budget phones go, it's not so bad. Now let's talk about the camera specs. So the sensors are actually unnamed, so I can't tell you what they are. What I can tell you is the main camera does use a 50 megapixel sensor. They say it's an ultra sensing main camera with an aperture of f1.85, which is nice and bright. And then you've also got an 8 megapixel front camera, both of which support 2K 30 frames per second. And I did mention during the unboxing that it's a durable phone. It does have an official IP65 water and dust proof rating. Now let's talk about this little orange key here on the side. So this is actually what Infinix are calling their one-tap AI button. And check this out. When you push this, it wakes up an AI assistant. But if you use the little drop down here, you can actually choose which AI assistant you want to use. You've got DeepSeek, ChatGPT, Gemini, Meta AI, and Grok all in one place. And as you can see, Folax was listening to what I just said, and now it's writing out an entire story. And within the settings on the phone, if you go to the one tap button menu, here you can actually remap what the button does. If you don't want it to do the Folax AI and all that stuff, you can have something else if you want, and you can actually set a single tap to do something else. So by default, a single tap here real quick will open up the flash memo, but there's also a feature called the Mind Hub, and it can create these nice little summaries and stuff like that. So this is very useful when it comes to researching and collecting data across different websites and apps and things. Also, I'm told there's a feature here that allows you to share files and images directly to iOS users and of course other Android users. Here we go, instant transfer. Let me get my iPhone. Let's see if it works. Okay, so on an iPhone, you'd need to download the Instant Transfer app in order to use this. But yes, it does work using NFC. And check out this feature. This is very, very useful and very unique to Infinix. It's called Ultra Link. This feature allows you to make phone calls even when you don't have phone signal using Bluetooth. It works within a 1.5 kilometer range with one caveat, and that's probably the fact that the other person will also have to be using an Infinix device with this feature. And I mentioned there's some gaming specific features on this phone pre-installed, so it's part of their system apps. It's called X Arena. If you jump into this, this opens up their game launcher, and from here you can launch your games. You can even install games from here, and you can also enable HS pass-through. So if you want to, you can play games with the power plugged in, but it won't charge your battery. It will just keep the device running, and this prevents the device from heating up. So check this out, bring out the little game launcher here at the side. We can set it to performance mode and boost it up a little bit. You do have other tools here like screenshot, screen record, select search, memory clear up. So if it starts to slow down, you can tap that, clear your backgrounding. Got one. So far, gameplay has been pretty solid. It's very, very smooth. Definitely good enough for PUBG. Viewing angles aren't the best I've ever seen, but sound quality is pretty decent. What's going on, guys? It's me from the future. I figured out why this hasn't been working and where it's been going wrong. So when you throw this phone in a freezer, it goes back to the deep orange color. And when I was trying to use the glue gun on it before, because England has become hotter than the surface of the sun at this particular point in time, the phone had already adapted to its lighter color. And that is why it wasn't working. So let's try this for the third and final time. I've run into another problem now. The heat seems to have spread right across, which means the letters aren't going to be very defined. However, at least you guys know that it works. And if you guys want to learn a bit more about what Infinix have to offer in the flagship territory, definitely check out this thumbnail that's on screen right now. And if you guys just subscribed, I will see you in the next one, so don't be late.